7270 heading south of 1560. We are do our best. 35 your day, south 15. Giant 74 Tango Whiskey, 1.6 for 3000, 140.
Hello, folks. Welcome. It's been, I don't know, 11 months. You know, no big deal. Recently found myself among a lot more free time, and I figured we'd give this another go. So I'm going to stick with this as long as I can again, and for those of you who are returning, thank you for sticking along, and those of you who are just joining, welcome. Just a little backstory before we begin here. So, I don't know what I want to do as far as content on this channel. I really don't. So I'm just gonna, because before I had all these crazy schedules and what have you and that sort of thing, I don't think I want to deal with that right now. So I'm just gonna fly what I like and post it in a semi-edited fashion. I think I'm probably on most flights gonna end up splitting it up into a departure and arrival just to keep the time down, but we'll see. I don't know yet. I'm gonna play around with it. To start off with, we're gonna be sorry, excuse me, still sick a little bit. We're gonna be doing what I've dubbed the South Pacific tour, or the Pacific tour. I think it's South Pacific at this point. Maybe gonna touch a few other places as well. We're here at Hana in Maui, or on Maui, Hawaii, right? And the plan here is we're going to basically go all around the Asian Pacific area. I've already done half of what I wanted to do. I've decided to record the rest of it. So we came back here. Got some good stuff in store, some interesting flights to some rather unusual places. First of which being, well, we're going to do some Hawaii hopping here. Just some simple stuff. We've got a GA plane today that we're going to take. It's a returning member. It's that Piaggio, or Focke-Wulf 149. Take that from here in Hana down to the other side of the island to Kahului, where we'll leave the airplane. We'll hop on a Southwest flight to Honolulu. There, we'll connect via Fiji Airlines. Either way, connect with Fiji Airlines or Airways, and take that down to an island, basically just due south of here, in Kiribati, Christmas Island. Not the Australian one, the other one. Then we'll transition to Nauru Airlines, go to Tarawa, and on to Nauru. Now, going back to the Fiji one, it might be Fiji Airlines, it might be Asia Pacific Airlines. They used to operate a 727 from Honolulu down to Christmas Island, back. They don't anymore. They've done away with the 727s. I think they do it still with a 75, but depends on if I can get the 727 to work, which as of recently has not been very often. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And then I'll put a list up on screen. We're going to a bunch of different places, or at least going to try to. It should be pretty interesting. Going to some just off-the-cuff places. Got some challenging approaches. It's all going to be basically one take, so we've got a plane coming in. By the way, right now we're in FS 2024. We're going to be transitioning back and forth depending on what airplane we're flying. Looks like we got a Caravan that just pulled in. I didn't even hear it land. It's interesting. Anyway, yeah, let's begin. I've probably talked your ear off enough. So yeah, like I said, we're here at Hana. Man, this looks really good in 2024. That's one thing I will say about 2024 is it looks just good. Obviously, it has some issues still. I mean, developers not being able to properly move their stuff over. It looks like some of that's getting resolved. And then another main issue is That's true. Another main issue for me, anyways, is loading. So sometimes I think it's been determined that it's a server issue, and I just can't load in every now and then. I get stuck on the fly now screen, and then, excuse me. And then, also with that is I've had the sim brick on me once, which was less than optimal. And then there's some bugs here and there with the default aircraft, which default aircraft in this are really enjoyable, honestly, when they work. We'll see some of that too. I love the A330. I can't get enough of it. And the A320 Neo and 21 Neo are not bad either. I really enjoy that. So, as much there's going to be a lot of Airbus flying, and that's just due to the nature of me wanting to use FS24, and it is what it is. But it'll be interesting. I don't mind flying the Airbus. I obviously know more about the 7.3, but we're going to get a nice mix of different stuff. Just ignore the... That was weird. Ignore the German registration flag. Liveries for this thing are hard to find because obviously this is a interesting airplane that not a lot of people like. But I actually like it because it's quirky and weird, and that's my whole thing. Quirky and weird. Got our cowl flap there. The cowl flap there. This thing's kind of zippy. Not gonna lie. Just ignore the avatars we have in there. There's no way to turn them off in this particular aircraft because FS 2020 thing's being ported. Gotta love it. Anyway, let's hop in. There we go. Go ahead and close the canopy just to create some noise. There's gonna be an oven in here, but that's whatever. Alright, here, let's go ahead and 1 second. Alright, we're back. Definitely didn't forget to configure my controls, because new simulator. I love it. Anyway, here we are. Piaggio / Focke-Wulf 149. It's ancient. It's cool. What else can I say? Let's get the battery on here. And beacon and navigation lights are reversed because, of course, they are. Get all our gauges on here too, and go beacon on too, so it doesn't really matter. None of that needs to come on right now. Go and get our mixture full rich. Interesting. That's fine. Fuel cutoff switch in. Menus are off. Fuel selector is on both. That's fine. Let's go ahead and prime it. If I can remember where the fuel pressure gauge is, I believe it's this one. Yeah, fuel pressure. Good. Turn that off. Magnetos. Go to both. I guess I accidentally started it. That's fine. Control bindings. But you just put it to both and hit the starter. That's that. So we're started. Got a generator warning. It's because that's pulled. Push that back in. Get the generator running. Now that we got that running, go ahead and hit the gyro, radio, and radio compass. Okay, they'll start to spin up. And we're just doing a simple VFR flight today. We'll be departing that runway. I'm having a brain fart here. What runway is that? 26, thank you. Brain, no worky. Alright. We're gonna have to align our compass here once it gets settled. Meantime, let's see here. Oil pressure's coming. Let's get the prop all the way forwards. And increase the throttle ever so slightly. All temps coming up. Radio on. Radio on. Not that we're going to need it. Alt. ADF is on, even though we're definitely not going to need it. Cow flaps. I'm not too worried about it. So headed temperature is way below there. If it starts to get hot, I'll pull it. Alright. So that's all stable now. Let's go ahead and line it here. So compass. Right about 352. And yes, I know the textures in this thing are absolutely garbo, but that's alright. Alright, let's see here. 352, so we'll want to center that. There we go. It's all set. Set this to 260. Awesome. That's set. We're all good to go here. Get the right landing light on. Get myself kind of set more into my seat. Set up here. All right, there we go. So, let's go ahead and put the brakes on, release the parking brakes. Pull off to the left. Back to the right. The other thing I like about 2024 is the performance is a lot better. A lot better. Oh, go away. I don't know how to turn those off fully. It's not like 2020. Alright, everything's on there. We're set. Go ahead and put on our fuel pump for the takeoff. Backtrack a little. Lean out the mixture ever so slightly. We're at sea level, so. And I'm just gonna hit B key to sync our altimeter because I don't feel like messing with it on this. Which is basically 1013 anyway. Where is it? That's right, B key doesn't work in this, so I guess I am gonna have to mess around with it. That's fine. We just play on the iPad while taxiing. You know, that's practicing multitasking and definitely runway awareness. Definitely. At 3018. Which this is in hectopascals. So let me flip around here. Forgot what that would be. 1022. Good enough. Alright. We don't need any flaps for this. Let's go. Little right rudder. We can get about 70 knots or so. Right about there. Pause the rate, gear up. Turn out to the right, get over the ocean, away from the mountains. More turbulence we avoid, the better. In fact, I am going to circle around completely That way we have a little bit more time. Our bank angle, add a little back trim. God, 2024 is so beautiful. Alright, we can go ahead and kill the fuel pump now. Shouldn't have any flaps out. Of course we do. Oh. As you can see, a little rusty. It's been a hot second. That's alright. What a pretty little airport. Okay, we'll go ahead and dial throttle back a little bit. Set to about 3,000 RPM. Right about there should do. There's Hana down there. Full town's a little bit more that way. Alright, so we're airborne. We'll power back a little bit more. Set around 2,800 RPM as well. Good cruising. And put it in the center of the atmospheres. The gauges in this are weird because it's all 60s German stuff, but getting beat up a little bit here. It's alright. Here at about 1,800 feet. Wow, we're getting absolutely beat to heck. It's really weird, like seesaw, side to side yawing motion. It's quite interesting. How pretty is that? Island of Maui. Descend a little bit here. This turbulence is really messing with me. See, our vertical speed is all over the map. Alright, what's our weather at Kahului like? Little up trim, slight bit more. Alright, what's the weather look like? Weather right now is 050 at 18, gusting 27. Of course it is, because it's Kahului and right in the channel. 10 statute mile visibility, fuel class 4,000, temperature 242.18, altimeter 3018. 05, so that would be landing 02, so we are heading the right direction for that. That'll give us the best chance. Which, I mean, that's pretty standard with the weather patterns here. Because basically you're stuck between two mountains, right? West Maui Mountains and Haleakala and East Maui here. And you got that channel of just wind. It's starting to ease up a little bit. That's nice. Anyways, so yeah, other places we're going to be going. So either Fiji or Asia Pacific, we'll see, to Christmas Island, and then let's get the separate out of control here. Then Nauru Airlines and their 737-800 from Christmas Island. Tarawa to Nauru, and then we're going to change over to their 700, 737-700, take that to Brisbane. So we're pretty quickly here going to get to Australia. Once in Australia, we have quite some festivities planned. I already hit New Zealand on my own, so we're not going to be hitting that again. At least, not as of me making this video. I get shower ideas all day, so shower type ideas all day, so it could change. But that's the basic plan. Once we're in Brisbane, we're going to do a little stint with Jetstar. Go up to Cairns, down to Melbourne, down to Launceston in Tasmania. Then, really weird flight, but it's, at least when I researched it, it's what they were using. One of the operators of QantasLink flies, A319, 320, 321. Well, they operate a 321, or at least did for a few days that I saw, from Launceston to Hobart. And that's like, what, a 40-minute flight, maybe? So, that's rather interesting. Avoid these clouds here. Might have to descend a little bit closer to the water. I'm trying to stay VFR here. This aircraft can do IFR, kinda. I mean, it can. If we were to tune in a radio beacon and all that, but not in the mood. Not in the mood. How are we doing on speed? Speed's looking great. So yeah, down to Launceston in an A321, which is gonna be awkward, but should be fun. Then once down in Hobart, head up to Adelaide, from there up to Alice Springs, Darwin, back to Brisbane to Perth. Then we're going to do some interesting stuff, in Western Australia there, Perth and all that. They have a lot of mining and that sort of thing going on, right? And so there's a lot of essential air service to those mining camps and towns and stuff. We're not going to get too deep into it, but we are going to do 2 flights. The first one's to Paraburdu, which I think is the most commonly known one, at least for a Westerner, maybe. And then there's another one, off the top of my head, I can't remember the names. It's very Australian. But 2 places we're also going to visit. All that's going to be an A319. They had some really interesting flights done in a PC-24, Pilatus PC-24, which, funny enough, I've actually seen one of those IRL. Sweet airplane. Not huge into the whole modern thing, but, well, as you can tell. Hello. But it's an interesting airplane, for sure. I'm gonna head out a little bit to the left here. Not a huge fan of those clouds. Once we do those little hop arounds there, we're gonna hop on with Singapore Airlines up to Singapore from Perth. Then from Perth, head up to Bangkok. I think Bangkok's the only place that we're gonna hit twice after Australia. Then after that, we're gonna head a little bit farther west, which is kind of out of the whole Asia Pacific thing, but they got some interesting approaches there that I always wanted to do, and we're close enough in the area. I figured, why not? So we're gonna head up to Kolkata, then Kolkata to Paro to Kathmandu, Kathmandu to New Delhi to Chennai to Colombo in Sri Lanka, so that should be interesting. Another one I've never been to. Colombo back up to Mumbai, then Hyderabad. We're gonna hop on with Emirates, go to Dubai. Now, Dubai was definitely farther than I was originally wanting to go, but I'm making an exception for this sequence and this sequence alone, which I really wanted to do, which is Dubai. We'll take a flight to Islamabad, also with Emirates. Trim back my power just a little bit here. right in the bottom of the green on the atmospheres there. Also trim back RPMs just a little. Then from Islamabad, we'll head up to Skardu, which is the whole goal of that little charade. I really wanted to visit Skardu. So over there you can see, oh geez, why am I blanking? Over there's the big island. I want to say Niihau, but I know that's not right. Niihau is the one off the coast of Kauai, the private island. This is Ko'olave. That's this island here. That's the island they used for like different ordnance testing and stuff from like World War II onwards, for I think into the 60s or 70s. Completely uninhabitable, blocked off, can't go to it. Still a lot of live ordnance and that sort of thing happening there, so it's kind of a no bueno. Don't think there's a TFR over it, so there is not. So let's go ahead and take a little. Oh wait, I'm on satellite. Let's see here. Let's go VFR. Yeah, there's no TFR on that, so we can take a little gander over it. I didn't think there would be, because there's no active operations there or anything, but yeah, you know. And then well, not way out there, but oh no, I guess that is it. So there's Lanai, I think. It's kind of hard to see with the clouds if it was clear deck. Yeah, my bearings better, but that's definitely Ko'olave. I think that's Lanai. Then we've got West Maui Mountains there. Yeah, that checks. So go out over Ko'olave, do a little circle around it, and then come back in for approach to 02. Back to the earlier conversation, Skardu. That'll be really interesting. Always wanted to fly, well, always, but I've been seeing a lot recently, and now I wanted to fly there, and we're in the area, kinda, so, Then I would do basically a round trip from Islamabad to Skardu and back. Then we head from Islamabad directly to Bangkok with Thai Airways. Then from Bangkok, we head over to, I almost said it again, Saigon, which is not Saigon anymore. It's Ho Chi Minh City. History. Look it up. That's what happens when you lose a war, unfortunately. But we head to Ho Chi Minh City. And it's funny, the airport identifier is still SGN for Saigon, even though it's not Saigon anymore, it's Ho Chi Minh City. I digress. Anyway, Ho Chi Minh City to Manila. Manila's really cool. I always loved Manila. Then Manila to Hong Kong. I always love Hong Kong as well. Great airport. Going to the new one. I don't feel like installing and dealing with Kai-Tak. Even though I should one of these days. I really should. I've never done it. Need to do it. But I just love the new Hong Kong airport. The approach to it over all those islands they got going on there. Quite impressive to my little smooth brain. Let's see. From Saigon, jeez. I'm gonna just keep scrolling that up. I hope you know. Every time I say Ho Chi Minh City, I'm gonna accidentally say Saigon. It's gonna happen. That's not even what I meant to say. From Hong Kong, even, we're gonna head up to Beijing, which I've never flown in China before. I know it's weird. I know they got meters and all that weird stuff, which we'll deal with that when we get there. Here's the bay. And Kahului Airport's right over there. Ko'olave, Lanai. How we doing? Speed and all that. Looking good. Altitude. We're at like 2,800 feet, so we can descend a little bit here. Hold power a little. It's back to 2,600. That descent going so we don't gain too much speed. I want to get up close and personal with Ko'olave here. From Beijing, we're gonna head over to Incheon in South Korea. That should be interesting. I always love Incheon. Never been there in the new sim yet, so that'll be muy caliente. Then from Incheon over to a place in Japan called New Chitose. Another really weird airport. Maybe somebody can explain this to me because I don't get it. You've got two airports, but it's the same airport, Chitose and New Chitose. And they have different identifiers, two different runways, one runway per airport, but they're linked. And you've got the domestic terminal on one side, and the international terminal on the other. Like, I think I remember hearing at some point this was due to like some sort of I keep wanting to say parish boundary, but that's not it. Like region boundary or something like that. I can't seem to think of it. I really can't. Words today are just not happening. Then from New Chitose, we're gonna head directly south to Tokyo, and then Tokyo back to Honolulu, and we'll regroup back here on Maui. Fly this guy around a little bit, maybe do some island hopping. We'll see. Depends on what I'm in the mood for. Let's kind of dig out of this here. Throttle back up. This back up to 2750 or so. We'll keep it like 2700. I don't want to gain too much speed. And then we'll do some bumbling about out here because I love Hawaii, as we probably all know by now. And then we'll head back to the mainland and continue on with, I say, regularly scheduled programming, but there is no regularly scheduled programming anymore. But we're going to do some Coast Airways stuff. I haven't done any of that in a while and kind of miss it. Got some new destinations. I'm based out of Salt Lake City now instead of Miami. I'm technically based out of both because we've got cargo operations going on now. If you follow Jason and Jason's channel, Flight Sim Broadcasting Network, right? We've got a cargo operations now. That's just out of Miami. I'm kind of the lead on the 727, so that's where we're at with that. So we'll do some of that. Do some of the Salt Lake City, like normal 737 ops. At some point here soon, we're either going to be getting probably a 737 Classic or a 717. As we saw by the time of recording this, Jason's latest stream, it's probably a few ago by the time it gets uploaded. Didn't go quite well. That aircraft isn't quite cooked yet. So, unless TFTI surprises us, I think we're getting 737 Classics, which I don't object to. I love that airplane. I'll fly that stuff all day. Gotta say though, 717 is my favorite airplane. That's why it kind of pains me to fly the one that's out now, is because it just doesn't scratch the itch. So yeah, we'll see what comes out of that. We'll do some GA flying. I like the Duke. I fly the Duke a lot. So we'll do some of that. Some mountain ops in the Duke back in Colorado. It's always a fun time. I was using the turbine Duke, but I think I'll switch to the piston Duke because it's a bit more work, a bit more dynamic. So that should be some fun. We'll throttle a little more here. Be easier time getting down. All side ends. Nose down trim. Alright, we'll head in right over Korolave here. I love this aircraft for its visibility. Man, that's just beautiful. I don't want to get too low here. Try to speed a little bit. Now we're good. What an interesting island here. I don't know the full history about it. Is that a road? It is a dirt road. Wonder how old that is. I need to do some more research. Kolave, it's quite interesting. Yeah. There's Lanai. There. We're gonna head back. Yep. And then I got myself a little bit confused there. I was thinking that that's the valley. It's not. There's the bay, there's the valley. What we're seeing there is Molokai. So we got Lanai, then Molokai. There we go. That's the direction we need to head. What a beautiful day. By the way, it's around 7 a.m. or so, 7:15. Our flight that we need to catch or fly to Honolulu. It's with Southwest. It's going to be on a 737 MAX. It leaves at about 9 a.m. So we got a little bit of time here. I purposely gave ourselves a little time so we could bumble around and talk a little bit. What a pretty airplane. The modeling and that's kind of simple, but also kind of not. It's interesting. Like all these fuses and that work. It's just a neat airplane. It's got pretty darn good performance. Great visibility. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I love this. No autopilot, no GPS, so basically hand flying all the, well, not basically, you are hand flying all the time. And you can use basically flying by the seat of your pants or radio navigation. I've just got Navigraph open on my EFP. Ooh, excuse me. Navigraph open on the EFP, and I'm using that to navigate around a little bit to improve my situational awareness. It's like when we were over there and got into those clouds that were there, I kind of got a little confused in that. And even just now, I got a little confused. I had to reference it, but yeah. So we got Lanai, Molokai, West Maui Mountains, East Maui Mountains, and that one, that big one there is Haleakala. Got a nice observatory up there with telescopes and all that. You can see a whole bunch of stuff. Never had a chance to go up to the top of Haleakala personally, but one of these days. Need to do some just GA flying in this area. Might do that once we get back from the Asia Pacific trip before we head back to the mainland, because while in Rome, it's one of those things. Alright, let's pull power a little bit here. Give it a little bit nose down. Don't want to descend too much, but I don't want to be climbing either at this point. So we're at 2650 or so. Is this knots? Or is this something else? Yeah, it is knots. As you can see, this speedometer goes up pretty high. This is a speedy little airplane. Speedy little airplane indeed. Oh, hello. Then you can see the, not quite, might need to increase my draw distance a little bit, but you get a little closer, you'll see the wind turbines there. See the runway lights there. I guess it's not runway lights, it's just buildings. Yeah, the draw distances aren't quite settled yet in 2024, but we'll get there. Oh, there's the wind farm loading in. Right there at the start of the West Maui Mountains. Drive along the coast here is really interesting. Towards, I think it's Oluwalu and Lahaina. I personally have not been to Lahaina since the events of, what was it, last March, last May. Just for the best, you know, gotta let the people there figure their stuff out, get their life back together, that sort of thing. Really tragic what happened there. Can't quite see the runway yet, but I know it's right about there. Let's see, we're heading about 03027, 028. So yeah, we're about tracking. Probably a little to the left. I can get a decent look at those wind turbines. Pull our throttle back a little bit and our RPMs. Plenty good on the speed. FS24 it's definitely got its quirks, but it's overall I like it. The whole sky environment, atmosphere, and clouds are so much better. Not to mention, just for me personally, the photogrammetry has been better by tenfold. I know everybody's kind of had mixed results with that, but it is what it is. Can't quite see it 'cause bad LOD distance, but we got like out here Mahipono Farms and all that. Heading indicator. Gonna realign that. We're at about 020. That drifts a lot. That's the other problem with this thing. There's the runway there. I see it. Good on speed. Full RPMs back to like 2600. Throttle back quite a bit. It's a decent rate of descent. Not much is loading in yet. Can we see Kihei? There's Kihei there. And there's Wailea, I think. A little bit up close and personal with those wind turbines. A little bit more juice back in it. Our speed. We're good for flaps 1 at around 100 knots. 90 for the next. Around 70. Or sorry, 90. 85 G's for the last step. And I've decided probably not going to take this too seriously, except for all the coastal flights where I kind of have to. Checklists, unless it's an airplane that I really don't know and I kind of need it to hold my hand, I'm probably not even going to bother with them. To be completely honest, but I'm just going to wing it and see where it goes. See the coastline highway there. Then down there you've got Kahului, and over there is Wailuku. Getting some of that turbulence from the airflow off the West Maui Mountains. Good look at those wind turbines. Looks really good once you get close enough to it, but my LOD is all weird. I'll have to play around with it some more. That road there is quite interesting. A lot of beaches there that are not half bad to go to. This here is the road that leads back towards Lahaina. I think it's Oluwalu. Forgive me if I'm incorrect. It's been a hot second. this road here. Links up the, I think it's the Maui Veterans Highway there. And goes into Kahului. A little right. I'd start pulling more power out. Got a warning to our low power setting. Just let us know, hey, your gear is down. Why is your throttle this low? Well, it's because I want to lose speed. Alright, flaps 1. Gear down. Some more juice. Little nose up. That was probably a little bit too early, but yeah, it's alright. We're just still cruising. Little more juice. More nose up. 2800 on the RPMs. That drift is really bad on this. I don't know why it's so exaggerated. Ooh, there's a little downdraft. As I was saying, there's Kahului, Wailuku there, more towards the mountains there. Right now we're over Mahipono Farms. Come on. Get it together. I need to turn off these tooltips or figure out how, because it's really bad. Just put our propeller all the way forwards. Pull our manifold back a little bit. Winds are starting to beat us around quite a bit here. Flaps 2. It's so pretty. Veterans Highway. Oh wow, that's there now. That's the old sugarcane factory right here. It's been shut down for quite a while now. It's all abandoned, but nice to see that that's in there. Photogrammetry doing its job. That's real neat to see. My next flight, unfortunately, is going to be back in 2020, I believe. Because I'm going to do the iFly 737 MAX. I actually haven't played around with the default Asobo one. I'm kind of wary of it, but the other stuff wasn't bad. Granted, the other stuff was all done by I&I, so we'll see. Sorry if I'm being a little quiet, just focusing here. These winds are, even though it's mostly headwind on this light plane, it's kind of beating me around a little. A little high, but that's alright. Just pull the power. Come down on its own. prime air looks to be 7.5 or 7.6, probably 7.6. Your left. Still have yet to see a 717 spawn naturally, the AI traffic, but right now we're using FSLTL. Most of the time we'll be using Beyond ATC. I have a model installed, I just don't know why it doesn't use it. And we're down. There's some light braking. Pop's coming back up. Taxi off to the right. Left landing light off. Excuse me. Taxi down the road there a little bit. Put the left drag on here. Alright. In we go. Park behind those Cessnas there. Across the terminal there, we got some big old jets. It's like a 7.6, possibly a 7.8. 21 Neo, or is that 330? Yeah, it's a 21 Neo. Dig to the left. It's fine. Excuse my constant coughing. Still a little sick here. Some Delta and American 321s looks to be, or 7.5s. Can't quite tell. We'll just pull in right on in here. Oops, that one. Welcome, here we are in Kahului. This looks really good, honestly. Jeez Louise. Just pull up right here and stop. One time I flew in here, I might even have a picture of it. If I can find it, I'll post it. I was flying in, we were landing 2-0, which is kind of rare. At least I think it was landing 2-0. Must have been. And there was a Boeing business jet, I think it was BBJ-2, parked right here. I think. I'd have to look back at the picture. This is years ago now. Anyway, let's go ahead and set the park brakes. Go ahead and pull the mixture. And we can go ahead and kill the gyros. Kill the gauges. Don't need those right now. Magnetos can go off. Pull the fuel control. Pull the cowl flaps. Let the engine cool off. Battery can come off. Aus. Go the whole German route. And open up the canopy. We'll hop out. As you can see, our cowl flaps are open now. I showed those to you earlier. Well, here we are in Kahului. Again, ignore the German registration, but that's alright. What a neat place, I tell you. There's always clouds hanging over the West Maui Mountains there. It makes it look majestic. Well, anyway, that about sums that up. So, I'm gonna go ahead and head over to the terminal, and in the next one, we will be heading to Honolulu in a Max of some variety. Whether that's the Asoba one or the iFly, I don't know yet. It'll probably be the iFly. Yeah, we'll see. Alright, that's all from me. Again, thank you for coming with me, and hope you enjoy.